new school, what's the process like? You have a system that you like to run, they have a system they've run previously. Players have plays that they either like to execute or aren't as good at executing. What's that meld sort of like? What's that process?
I think it's different in every situation. When I went to BYU, there was a very a different offense in place, but one that had done a little bit more. And so there were some things that they knew, some things they didn't, but there was a need for a fresh start, and the head coach wanted that. So it was a start over in terms of terminology and to some extent style as well. At Baylor, definitely there was a desire for a change in style and terminology, and to a large extent the play style was different. So you had teams that had not been successful, teams with new players. Here, just the opposite. Teams, team with a lot of experience in the system, coaches with a lot of experience in the system. So I've said this before, I was the one who had to catch up in terms of the terminology, and then there's that blend that you're trying to find that is the best of what they've done, what you've done, and then what a new year brings. I think every year brings a new year, and you're always trying to play to the strengths of your players. And so if I was at another school, it would look different, and whoever is at the same school for another year, you're still making changes that next year to try to play to the strengths of what you have.
How do you think that blending process has gone so far? Like, over the course of this year, would you see yourself adding more stuff you had done before, adding more stuff the players had done before?
Do I see myself adding more from here? Is that what you're asking?
I was just saying either way. Do you find yourself adding more stuff you had done before at your previous stops, more stuff the players had done before you were
I think we've settled in pretty close to what we're going to do. Every week there are some tweaks in how you do things, and one defense might present the opportunity for a play that you haven't run before. But before the season begins, you sort of decide what your playbook's going to look like, and then each week you narrow that down to the pieces that are best for that week.
Just curious, looking back at Saturday, what did you see from Jalen, big picture?
I think whether it's Jalen or any particular player, just wish you had a few more plays that had gone our way, and I think that could be said of any position. And there are some things that we're doing well, some other things we're not doing as well. The bottom line is, can you score more points than the defense yields? And we haven't done that yet.
When you look at, Luke's had a pretty good year so far, but when you look at Q and Arnold, I'm sure they would rather have done more than they have. Do you force feed it to try to get a guy going like that? Is that part of how you can kind of help them along, or how does that work?
I think there's a balance there. I think there's a balance between featuring people who are being productive and then still trying to get some other guys going, and we've certainly tried that. I think if you watch the games, you'll see that. And then there are times too, it's not. There are times when you can attempt to target someone, but the defense may take that away, and so sometimes if you limit yourself too much, then it puts the quarterback in a bind. And so we try not to do that too much. There are certainly plays where we're looking somewhere first, and who we put in that spot might differ from play to play, but the defense still, to a large extent, determines where the ball is going to go, and then the quarterback, and then the protection and a scramble and all those other things that many variables go into the ball actually getting thrown to the person that might be first in terms of his progression. In short, yes, we've tried, but again, there's a balance.
How much do you feel like you need those guys to find that next?
We need everybody. Yeah, we need everybody. We need every player that we have on the field, and we need everybody to play better.
I'm curious with Daniel, what has impressed you most, getting to watch him in a game setting versus seeing him just in practice day to day?
I think a player like him that plays with a physical nature, you're always going to appreciate it more when it's live. And those plays in practice where you blow the whistle whenever somebody gets tagged or thudded up, now instead of it being a gain of 5, now it's a gain of 7 or 8 or maybe even more than that. But just his aggressive style. But the thing I would say that I'm probably impressed the most with is if you watch him last year and you look at how he's playing now, I think you see a difference in terms of his ability to make a guy miss, run through a shoulder as opposed to right through somebody's face, which has also resulted in better ball security for him and really a more productive style of play. Really impressed with his improvement.
You guys are now rotating Calvin in at left tackle, which also means Bryce Cable to get some more time at right. Just what do you think about that arrangement? How it can help?
I think it was good. Yeah, I think it helped us. I think it helped give the entire line the ability to play longer and harder and be fresher, and that'll certainly be important this week.
With regards to Jalen, what have you seen week in, week out? Have you seen a progression?
With who?
With Jalen Daniels. Have you seen a progression level of play?
Yeah, I think Jalen, as well as a number of players, there are areas that he's improved, and then there are still places that he can make some improvement. Just like I would say for Jared Casey, or Devin Neal, or anybody.
What stands out to you looking at Arizona State and their defense?
A really aggressive bunch. I mean, the ball is snapped and they try to go get the football, and done a nice job with turnovers. They can go get the ball, track it in the air, and can pick it off. They knock a bunch of balls out because they play very aggressively, especially at the second and third level tackle positions, linebackers and safeties. Very aggressive and really physical.
I could be totally wrong in this, but it feels like a lot of the passes from
Surely
Jalen, no, never been wrong before, have been outside the numbers. Is there something that schematically defenses are doing that keeps you guys from going between the numbers? Is it something else?
No, I don't think, to some extent, yes, there are times the defense can do things, particularly when you're talking about throwing the ball down the field. If you're seeing a lot of single high structures, cover 1, cover 3, which we are, then there's a deep safety in the middle of the field that makes it hard to throw it down the field in the middle for sure. If you're seeing more of your zone pressure 3 deep stuff, then there are seams underneath. If you're not, you're seeing 3 and 4 man rush with 3 deep, then there are a lot of people underneath in those zones as well. And so sometimes the best place to go is out there. But I think we've tried to spread the ball, and to some extent the defense does dictate where the best spots are.
Anything else for Coach Grimes?
All right, guys.
Thank
Good to
you.
see you.